Hey, what's up guys? So we are going to be talking about the Darkworlds because Darkworld is a deck that is a pretty strong deck and it could not be touched on the March list. Even though, the deck is still pretty good if everything else gets hit and Darkworlds doesn't get hit. I don't know, maybe Darkworld will see a rise in play. The thing is, Macro Rabbit is one of the most popular decks in the TCG. I know in the OCG, there's not many players playing Darkworld too much anymore. They're all about the Ophion, the Evil Swarms right now. And that deck is pretty nasty to deal with. I mean, you get the Ophion out, you can't summon 5 or higher, well, and there goes Grapha's ability to be summoned. Now, the thing is, Darkworlds is a inexpensive deck, so I mean, a lot of players will have access to it, and that will be kind of a thing to factor in. Yeah, it'll be some players that will still play this deck regardless of if it gets touched or not, just because, it's inexpensive, they have it. And this deck is really nasty. I mean, any deck that can main deck Skill Drain is just dirty, and really nothing has been touched. I mean, sure, Tour Guide went to 2, but that doesn't really hurt the deck at all. But it's not the greatest meta call to play Darkworld because, it's not really a deck that a lot of players are playing, but a lot of players are playing Macro Rabbit, which, kind of destroys this deck if they get out macro faster than you can, destroy, everything and just get out a Grapha. But the thing is, Grapha is still a 3000 attacker. It can be really nasty to deal with, even if Dino Rabbit, has their first turn Logia. Like, are they going to negate one Darkwood Dealings? And then you're like, oh, it's cool, don't even worry about it. I have a field spell and I already got stuff in the grave, I can Foolish, and then you're good to go. And that can be something that, Dino Rabbit has trouble against when you get those big monsters out over and over and over, and it can be kind of annoying to deal with a 3000 attacker that just comes back over and over and really doesn't care about your back row other than like Bottomless or something like Dimensional Prison. But I'm here to talk to you guys. What do you think would get hit, if it might even get hit at all? Because it's totally possible that this deck is going to be untouched. But I think that the appropriate card that would get hit in this deck is probably going to be Snow. Konami likes to hurt the consistency. We saw that with Earth. They're like, okay, Earth to 2, Rabbit to 2. I don't think that Macro Rabbit will be touched. I think that, unless they Advanced Sabersaurus or something. But the thing is, I don't think that they will put Rabbit at 1, but that's another topic. We're talking about Darkworld today. But I think if they're going to hit anything, it would probably be Snow, because that is the consistency. And another really annoying card, every time I see this card I'm like, nope, don't even want to do it. But yeah, Drag Down it's really good. Also Darkworld Dealings is it's a pretty decent card. The thing with Drag Down though, we saw Trap Dust Shoot banned because seeing your opponent's hand is broken, right? And this is like, no, that's cool. This lets them cycle cards, lets them see any card, because Trap Dust Shoot, remember, could only hit monsters. This can hit Monster Reborns, Dark Holes, Heavy Storms, all the key cards that you might need to win the duel. You could just be like, oh, it's cool, Drag Down. You can't have that. And then whenever you reveal your hand, you always reveal a Darkworld, and you're like, oh, it's cool. I get to go plus off of it anyways. It's just annoying to deal with, but I don't really see them hitting this. Although, it's an annoying card to deal with, I don't see them hitting it. Another thing would be Card Destruction, which is kind of like a derpy card if used, when you have the optimal hand. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I drew Reborn, Dark Hole, and then they're like Card Destruction. You're like, oh, well, I don't play Magical Stone Excavations, so I can't really get those back. It's just one of those cards where if they have multiple Darkworlds in their hand, they get too much of an advantage in the game, really, is what happens, and it hurts. But yeah, Card Destruction, very nasty card if it is used at the right time. Even late game, sometimes I've seen Darkworld players they'll draw Card Destruction, and then of course they always have their one monster because they've been bouncing it back all the time for Grapha. And then late game they'll just be like, oh, it's cool, I already have my Grapha out, let me just Card Destruction. And the other person was saving a Monster Reborn or a Dark Hole for their big push to go for game later on, and oh, it's cool, you don't have it anymore. And that is kind of annoying to deal with. But I just want to know, what do you guys think that would get hit in Darkworlds? I personally, like I said, I feel like Snow would be the appropriate card to hit. But if they hit Grapha, by all means, that's awesome. I'm not really a fan of watching Darkworlds play anyways. They very rarely do any cool combos. They go Tour Guide Brow, Bounce Back Brow, Grapha. That's their most extensive play, other than Summon, Bounce Back, for Grapha. Very limited stuff that they can do. Surprisingly, none of them play Fabled Raven, because Drag Down and stuff like that, conflictions with that. But, Fabled Raven, sometimes you could see them do, they would go for a synchro, but very rarely did it happen. And there's not really many interesting plays. I just wish Plants would come back. I mean, they can ban Librarian. I don't even care. Just that deck was so entertaining to watch people like come out of situations, and it really just showed who knew what to make against what deck. And these linear decks like Darkworld, they're just not too entertaining in my opinion. But by all means, you know, it's an inexpensive deck, and if nothing gets touched, it might actually be, you know, a deck that people will be looking forward to playing in the upcoming sets. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what card would you hit if you were Konami? If you had the power, what cards would you hit? I'd just be like, nope, Snow, you can go to 1. Well, if I had the options, I'd just be like, let's go. This card, it can go Forbidden forever. But to be more realistic, you know, Snow to 1 would probably hurt people from like even wanting to play the deck, or I mean even Graph at 1 because you bottomless that thing. But then they might play Trans Archfiend. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, Darkworld could be a potential to be a deck that, you know, is kind of strong, and it might not even get touched at all. But I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are. But let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. Asian Eyes signing out.